Hello everybody. Today I have another LEGO review video for you all. Hooray! And today's video is on a slightly older set. I got this as a late birthday present, which is why it's a little old. Yeah, it's the LEGO Infinity Saga Ironmonger set. It's based off the first Iron Man movie, and yeah, let's check it out. So here's everything that comes in the box. You get the Ironmonger, you get Iron Man, you get Pepper Potts, and Obadiah. And also a crate to hold the extra ammo. But before we look at the actual set, I would like to take a look at the minifigures first. So the first minifigure we have to look at is Obadiah, and he is the main villain of the first Iron Man movie. And this minifigure is quite accurate. It's quite a basic minifigure. He doesn't have any hair because he's bald in the movie. And not really any back printing. Well, besides like a few lines, but that's pretty much it. It's a pretty simple but accurate figure. That's all I have to say about it. The next minifigure we have is Pepper Potts. Again, quite a simple minifigure, but accurate to the movie. She's got an alternate face print, and yeah, I think I have a Pepper Potts minifigure just like this. Again, it's very simple but accurate minifigure. And here we have probably the most detailed minifigure of them all. Tony Stark in his Mark III Iron Man suit. You can tell it's the Mark III Iron Man suit because not only does it have a lot of red highlights on it, but also it's got bolts and stuff and a very simplistic design, like kind of a prototype, because it is just kind of an upgraded repaint of the Mark II, so it would have all the bolts and stuff. Mask can flip up, show his face. He's got an alternate face print, just a normal one. I have it on the angry like heads up display face because he's wearing the Iron Man suit. This Iron Man minifigure comes with all these fancy blast effects that should be included in a lot more sets but aren't. These things are pretty cool, and I have them in just this like simple like flying position, but you could flip them up and have them like shooting giant balls of flames. You can take them off just to leave a simple Iron Man minifigure. By the way, I forgot to mention it, and this is being recorded at the end of the video, but the Iron Man minifigure actually has an alternate hairpiece. Yeah, it just pops on like that. Here's what it looks like on the other side. And here is the main set. The main build is the Ironmonger, and it's quite detailed. It's got these pistons in the back, and while it is a nice build, it's really big. It's not the Ironmonger is big, but he's not this big. Yet another pause of the video. I just like to mention that I actually went back and watched the actual fight, and the Ironmonger is actually a lot more accurate than I thought it was. He does have an upright stance like this. His head is supposed to be a little smaller and also kind of sunken into his chest a little bit, but yeah, and I won't interrupt the video anymore. Okay, and also he's probably doesn't have as upright of a back. I think he's supposed to have a lot more of a slouch like this in the movie, and you can open up the head and put Obadiah in there. But yeah, and also main problem with this is, well, I do enjoy the size of it, and it is a good build, pretty sturdy. It is just a bit too big. I probably would have preferred them making a slightly smaller one, and then maybe just including like maybe a smaller side build if they wanted the set to be of this size. Like if they're, of course they plan to build, so this set has 479 pieces, and if they're trying to make a 500 piece set based off Iron Man 1, they They probably could have just made a smaller Ironmonger and then had just some silly little side build that people just throw away. But that's just my opinion. But besides that, this is actually a really nice set. He's got this really nice printed face piece. It's like one of these bionicle shoulder pad dish pieces. They print. It's actually used quite often as a face print. It's been used in, like, I think a couple Venoms and a clay face once. This piece has been used a lot for making smooth faces. This set came out around kind of like the era that Lego was making all sorts of giant Iron Man mechs. Like they had the What If Iron Man mech, the other What If Iron Man mech. You got like the Captain America Iron Man one, and then like that car one. I haven't watched What If, by the way, so I don't know what those things are. And then you also had the, I can't remember. And then there's also the War Machine Hulkbuster, and then there's the more recently the remake of the Mark II Hulkbuster, which I have and will probably be doing a review of soon. Coming in for a closer look, you can see that he's mostly dark gray and gunmetal silver. It's a very nice color. I feel like it's quite consistent. I kind of wish that they put a little more gunmetal silver instead of all the gray, because the gray kind of makes it feel a little flat. But that's just my personal opinion. I'm glad they properly bulked it out. Like they didn't. There's no hollow spots. There's no empty gaps. There's no. This thing is quite sturdy and can hold. It will probably hold up the test of time and be able to. Yeah, this thing ain't going anywhere. This thing's pretty sturdy. And also, he's got these repulsors, and I don't know if this was intentional or not, but you could take some of the blast effects and plug them in, and have him shooting repulsors and stuff. I don't know if it was intentional or not. I don't think it shows it anywhere. It doesn't show it anywhere on the box, him shooting this, but that is an option. He's got these shoulder pads. I don't know what these holes are. I'm not sure if they're screw holes or like. I don't know why those holes are there on the sides. So a little bit of context for what the Ironmonger is if you haven't seen the first Iron Man movie. It's pretty much that. So Tony Stark makes his first Iron Man suit. It's kind of like a pile of scrap. It's like he built it in a cave, but then his former business partner Obadiah, he gets jealous of Iron Man, and he finds the Mark I suit in the desert, and then he builds it up and makes this giant Ironmonger. And since he does not have the massive brain that Tony Stark has, he has to put all these pistons and stuff, like all these, and has to really bulk it up and make it really awkward and clunky. And also, since it's based off the Mark I Iron Man suit, it does not have all the fancy upgrades and stuff that the Mark III Iron Man does. Like it freezes at high altitudes and all sorts of other problems. Yeah, but ironically, this probably ended up being the base model for the Hulkbuster. This is probably what inspired Tony to make a Hulkbuster, a giant Hulk-sized suit. And actually, in the movie, it's probably about the same size as the Hulk in the movie. It's not as big as the Hulkbuster or anything like that. But it is a nice, fun play size. I enjoy playing with. This is a good size for playing with. Probably not a good size for accuracy. This is more of like a play scale, not like a minifigure scale. Yeah, he's got two guns on each hand. He's got like a little. He's got this like one of the newer stud shooters that just like flicks. I don't want to shoot him. Well, actually, I'll shoot him. So there's this one, which I don't think I did that right. I think you're supposed to like psh, really fast. And then we have the other one, the better one. Fun fact, I actually double up the studs on the stud shooters so they're a lot easier to find. That's a little tip for any new Lego builders. Double up the studs so you don't lose them. And by the way, this set does come with this little crate to store extra bullets. I don't have any extra like stud shooters because I doubled them all up. I only have the orange ones in there, as you can see. But yeah, this helps store the extra bullets. You can also, as shown earlier, open up the ironmonger. It just flips back. There's no ball joint to look left and right. It's just up and down, which is kind of annoying. I wish they would start adding ball joints so their Hulkbusters can look left and right. Even their $600 one can't look left and right. But yeah, if you look inside, you can see a little control panel. It's pretty simple. There's also some brown, probably to represent like cushions or something, or like the awkward padding on the inside, because this is, in the movie, this is kind of like a giant prototype. Like you probably, Obadiah probably wasn't planning for this to be the only suit he made. He was probably planning to make like a much nicer one, but he wanted to kill Tony and get his technology, steal his technology to make better ones. But it was clearly just a prototype to kill Tony. Now, posability on this guy is actually pretty good. He's got ratchet hip joints, which can go in, forward, and back, and they have pretty good range. I like these ratchet joints. They're pretty sturdy on a mech like this, but anything bigger than this, the joints won't hold as well. But ball joints at the ankles can go forward and back and side. It doesn't have any knees. I don't think any of the Hulkbusters have knee joints. Like literally none of them, which is a little annoying. I think the only Hulkbuster would be that has knee joints would have to be the blue Mark 38 included in that one Hall of Armor set. I think that's literally the only one. Ratchet shoulders. And I guess these can count as articulation. These pistons and stuff move up and down, in and out, which is pretty interesting. It adds a little more fluidness to it, the movement of the pistons. I kind of like things like that. I wish it was included in more sets. Ball joint elbow, rotating wrist, and then articulated fingers. Got swiveling waist. He's got waist articulation. It's got a just listen to that. There's a little bit of ASMR for you guys. Also, probably the shoulder ratchets. Yeah, ASMR, fun. Also, as mentioned earlier, the head can move up. There's two joints. There's here, and so I guess you get him to look up. It's actually how the box shows him looking up here, just flying like that. Yeah, so you can look up, and yeah, you can also like do that, head bobbing. You can also look backwards in a very creepy way. I don't know if that really counts, but yeah, this can go up and down as articulation. And probably the highlight of the set, at least for me, is that the arc reactor on the Ironmonger can actually glow in the dark, and this is and glow in the dark pieces for Lego is something that has gone kind of non-existent recently. Like it used to be included in almost every other set back in the early 2000s, and I got quite a few of the pieces. I got some of the ghosts, like from the Monster Fighters series, stuff like that. But they've kind of gone like kind of non-existent. They can't really find them very easily. But this set has a glow-in-the-dark piece, the arc reactor, And here I'll just light it up for a second and I'll show you. Alright, I shined it against the light and you already see it glowing, but check that out. That thing glows perfectly. It is actually, the camera's making it glow a lot nicer. It's not glowing as cleanly in real life, but yeah, that looks really nice. You could also barely make out his eyes. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. Boo. By the way, here's a freeze frame of me turning the lights off. If you don't think it's creepy, let me leave you with it in silence. Size comparisons, I guess. You got Lego Thomas, I guess. My own custom Lego Thomas. Some of the Constructicons from an unfinished review video. Stunticons. Why not? And of course, Iron Man and Pepper Potts. Unknown Warrior. My own creation. In there as well. So I hope you've enjoyed today's review video. If you did, please like and subscribe. And also go check out my community tab. I post there. And until next time, bye bye.